Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're zooming out. Over our last few discussions, we've really gotten into the weeds on the tactical side of AI. Things like workflows, ROI, the nuts and bolts of scaling these tools. But right now, we need to move past that initial hype of just getting AI up and running. We're going to explore the massive structural evolution that businesses are going to face over the next 5 years. It's the bigger picture, and I'm really excited to dive into it with you.
So let's kick things off with a pretty profound question. What actually separates the successful organizations from the ones that just struggle? It's a huge question right now, mainly because the ground is shifting under our feet. Let's be real, pretty soon simply having access to an AI tool won't be anything special at all. Literally everyone is going to have it. So if the tech itself isn't your ultimate differentiator, what comes after basic AI implementation? That's the core issue we're tackling today, and honestly, the answer is going to completely change how you view your team's future.
All right, let's jump into Section 1, the new baseline. AI is no longer optional.
There was a very brief moment in time, maybe a year or two ago, when AI was this shiny new toy. It was a unique, kind of exotic competitive advantage if you were an early adopter. Well, we are rapidly exiting that phase. We have to completely rewire how we think about this technology, and the best way to do that is to look backward. Think about when digital communication or cloud computing were considered cutting edge. Today, imagine a company putting out a press release bragging that they use the internet, right? It sounds totally absurd. You wouldn't even dream of running a modern business without email or the cloud. They are the absolute baseline. And AI is on that exact same trajectory. It's moving from a nice-to-have advantage to a fundamental necessity for just doing standard business across the board.
And because of that shift, the conversations happening in boardrooms right now need a massive upgrade. Asking, should we use AI? That's an outdated adoption-level mindset. If your team is still debating whether or not to adopt, you're honestly already falling behind. The critical question we need to be asking is, how do we use AI effectively? We aren't just downloading a new piece of software to write emails faster. Actually, scratch that. It's way bigger than that. We are talking about a fundamental transformation in how the business operates at its very core. Think about your daily ops. It's a difference between using a chatbot to draft a quick memo versus totally re-engineering how your supply chain forecasts demand, or how your customer support automatically triages really complex issues.
Moving right along to Section 2, the real differentiator, building capabilities over chasing trends.
So, if just having AI isn't enough anymore, what's the actual secret sauce? What are the truly future-ready organizations doing differently right this second? Well, they're flipping the script. They absolutely refuse to get distracted by every shiny new tech update or viral tool that hits Twitter. Instead, they are strategically using AI to strengthen their core foundational capabilities. Things like operational visibility. That goes from being a clunky, backward-looking quarterly review into a real-time, living dashboard of the company's health. Decision-making becomes proactive, not reactive. Workflows aren't just marginally faster, they're stripped of friction entirely, which makes team productivity just skyrocket. Future-ready businesses aren't just playing around with AI, they are using it as structural reinforcement for the whole shebang.
Which brings us to Section 3, the power of adaptability. Why flexibility is your ultimate advantage.
Listen, if you build a highly rigid organization, even one that's supercharged by the best, most expensive AI money can buy, you are going to snap when the market winds shift. Adaptability isn't just some corporate buzzword anymore. It's literally an absolute requirement for survival. Just think about the sheer pace of change right now. It took the telephone 75 years to reach 100 million users. ChatGPT hit 100 million users in 2 months. 2 months! Markets are evolving way faster than your teams can even write a quarterly report about them. Customer expectations shift overnight, and the underlying tech is advancing at breakneck speed. In an environment that volatile, agility is mandatory. Flexibility is, hands down, your ultimate advantage.
Let's look at Section 4, the human element, because leadership drives transformation.
In an era that is completely defined by continuous machine-driven change, you might think humans matter less. But actually, the role of the human leader becomes the absolute most critical piece of the puzzle. Managing the status quo is completely dead. Leaders have to evolve. They have to get super comfortable with perpetual change. And to do that, they have to become architects of continuous learning. You need to actively foster an environment of innovation, elevate your own strategic thinking to get out of the daily weeds, and maintain laser-focused organizational alignment. You, the human, have to be the engine driving this continuous transformation for your teams.
There's a really critical mantra I want you to remember here. Technology supports transformation, but leadership drives it.
It is so incredibly easy to get this backward, isn't it? We always fall into this trap of thinking the AI is going to do all the heavy lifting for us. Like, if we just plug in the right algorithm, the toxic culture will just fix itself. Spoiler alert, it won't. AI is a magnificent support structure. It's a lever of unprecedented power. But human leadership is the ultimate success factor that decides where and how hard that lever gets pulled.
And man, this leads into such a dangerous yet incredibly common trap that organizations fall into when they plan for the future. They focus entirely on the technology. Business leaders just assume that if they buy the expensive software licenses, boom, transformation will magically happen on its own. We see this all the time. Companies spend millions on enterprise AI that ends up collecting digital dust simply because the culture wasn't ready for it. Technology in a vacuum, it changes absolutely nothing.
True transformation is a confluence of 4 things: your people, your processes, your strategy, and your leadership. This is a massive business challenge. It is not just some narrow IT project you can delegate to one department and forget about. Think about how these elements interact. If you upgrade your tech, but your strategy is totally missing, your processes are clunky, and your leadership is completely checked out, a software update is not going to save you. Honestly, it might just help you execute your bad processes faster. All 4 of these elements have to work together seamlessly to actually move your organization forward.
All right, let's wrap this up with Section 5, looking ahead to the next 5 years.
So, let's synthesize the ultimate message here for any leader trying to position their organization for the next half-decade. First things first, we need to completely redefine the word transformation. It really just means building an organization that is ready for whatever comes next. Transformation is not a single tech upgrade. It's not migrating your data and throwing a big launch party in the break room. It's building the continuous, deeply ingrained organizational muscle to learn, adapt, and improve, regardless of whatever wild new tools, competitors, or disruptions hit the market tomorrow.
To get there, we need a roadmap. Here are 5 progressive steps you can take to the future right now. Step 1, adapt quickly, because I promise you, the market will not wait for you to feel comfortable. Step 2, learn continuously. In this landscape, technical skills are expiring faster than ever before. Step 3, build strong systems. You need an operational foundation that can handle doing business at the speed of thought. Step 4, empower your teams, because top-down bottlenecks will absolutely kill your agility. And finally, Step 5, use AI strategically. Treat it as a force multiplier for your absolute best people, not just a cheap band-aid for broken processes. If you follow this sequence, you're not just reacting to the future, you are actively building it.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. The future won't be shaped by technology alone. How will you choose to transform? The AI tools are out there right now, just waiting to be used. But the vision, the adaptability, and that profound human leadership required to actually use them effectively, well, that has to come from you. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this blueprint helps you and your teams build something truly remarkable out there. Keep learning, stay adaptable, and I will see you next time.